I had prenatal depression with my first child. I had a physically easy pregnancy. No illness, little discomfort, decent control over my mood swings. My anxiety came from judgment from friends and, yes, even strangers. Boundaries go out the door when you're pregnant. People just reach for your tummy, offer unsolicited advice, tell you about the complications they had during their pregnancies and births, criticize what you eat, how you relax. Your body becomes everybody's business. It makes you feel violated, under pressure, and under constant scrutiny. It's very stressful, and stress is bad for the baby. You start to feel like everything is bad for the baby. Mom guilt is intense, and for me, it began as soon as I found out I was pregnant. Mothers are under the constant scrutiny of the society that they live in, and even, maybe especially, of other mothers, which is sad, really, because they all know how difficult it is to be a mother. My main anxiety was around my financial capabilities, as I had a physically demanding job and was unsure if I would be able to work through my pregnancy. It turned out that I could, but it led me to work 24/7 until I was 38 weeks pregnant. Then I continued to do non-physical work until delivery and even at the hospital postpartum. I had a bad experience at work and had severe anxiety revolving around going to work for a few months thereafter. It was so bad I would get chest pains as I drove there. The experience that triggered this anxiety was largely due to my pregnancy. I was a teen mom, and I experienced a great deal of depression as a result. The treatment I received from society when I was in the later stages of my pregnancy resulted in me trying to hide my pregnancy, and this caused even further depression. As a teenage girl, I was not given the opportunity to enjoy my pregnancy the way society expects mothers to. I think it's interesting that the age of the mother negates the otherwise very strong narrative around motherhood and pregnancy, turning it into a negative situation automatically in the eyes of society. My fears would spike in the week before an appointment. I would suddenly notice these weird feelings about the way I was feeling, the baby's movement or lack thereof, all of which was totally in my head, and once I heard the heartbeat, everything was fine again, until the next appointment. I suffered from mild to moderate prenatal depression with my last 2 pregnancies, both of which required me to be medicated for my safety. I have been aware of how emotionally unstable I feel on a regular basis during pregnancy, and I often don't feel like I have adequate support to work through these emotions. I worry very often that my emotions stemming from real concerns are not taken seriously because I'm pregnant and hormonal. It's terrible. You're not able to control your symptoms with medication you relied on before. You feel hopeless. I found myself in a constant state of flux, but with definite depression-like symptoms that last from 5 hours to whole weeks at a time. I am not usually a depressed person in general, but I have my lows like everybody else. I looked up prenatal depression as postpartum depression before birth, hoping that I was not crazy or somehow growing into a postpartum future. The anxiety came in waves throughout the pregnancy. As I would think about the logistics of after my son was born, childcare, going back to work, how it would change my relationship with my husband. You come to find out that the anxiety never really goes away. I was on antidepressants before getting pregnant. My primary care practitioner tried to tell me that I couldn't continue them during my pregnancy. My OB quickly nixed that and told me to continue taking them at my normal dose. I found that I got a lot of backlash from people who thought I shouldn't be taking them while pregnant, that I should just suck it up. It was hard to deal with at first, but I'm glad I stayed on my meds. Everyone kept telling me that I should be glowing with beauty, but instead I felt fat and hot and uncomfortable. I worried every day that there would be something mentally or physically wrong with my baby because my husband and I would not be able to handle this kind of challenge. I also felt horrible, and sometimes they would make me feel worse. Anytime I would talk to people about my pregnancy being anything other than rays of sunshine, or about my crippling fears of potential disabilities.